So earlier today at my school, I was forced to attend a mandatory LGBTQ event, all in the name of inclusion. Okay, but this thing is so out of control. Okay, remember, June used to be a men's mental health awareness month, so the alphabet community they've completely hijacked the men's movement. On top of that, it seems like every other week it's inclusion week. I don't care, like if you're gay, you're gay. It's fine. I don't have any issues. Look, if you want to be queer, you want to be non-binary, you want to be transgender. However, I don't believe that this curriculum belongs to the school system. So there's this guy named Brock McGillis. He's the first openly gay professional ice hockey player. Although he never played in the NHL, he played in America in some minor league in Europe. Probably some, BS contract. They're making 50, 60K, 70K a year, and he's not retired. He's talking about his experience. At first, I respected him, and I've made the two varsity teams myself. So I'm on the cross-country running team. I used to be. I didn't join the team this year because it simply got too expensive. There were so many fees. At first, I had some sympathy for him, and he was talking about a struggling suicide attempt and his past and coming out. I understand all of the locker room talks. I've been to many of the locker room situations in boys' gym class where people make gay, fake jokes, stuff like that all the time. Okay, then he completely shifted his tone. Okay, and I 100% expected this. This is what I mean by indoctrination. It's running so deep in our education systems. This is why it's my goal to leave the West in a few years. And you know who's behind all of this? Is one man, Justin Trudeau, and his sidekick, Chrystia Freeland. They've been pushing this radical LGBTQ agenda into our schools in order to indoctrinate our children, okay? So when he turned to the question period, I said, okay, I have a question you're not going to like. Are you ready to answer? And he said he would come back to me later, which I'm glad he did come back. And I asked him, so what do you think about men who are identifying as women and now they're entering women's sports, they're entering female bathrooms, they're entering female locker rooms? You know what the response he gave was? Trans women are women. Anybody that identifies as a woman is a woman. The fact that, men can menstruate, men can give birth. Not word by word, but that's the direction he was going. I asked him, so are you okay with someone like William Thomas turning into Leah Thomas? Guy is 6'4", who is 220 pounds, full grown with his male genitalia attached. You're okay with him going to women's bathrooms, taking the NCAA swimming title, and exposing male genitalia to all of the women in the locker room. And I was called transphobic by people in the audience, except for myself. And one other guy, he was a Muslim. His name is Omar, spoke up against this. Omar questioned him about biology and reality, that there's a fine difference. Okay, I don't know what the hell they're teaching in school nowadays. Listen, I dropped out of school. I came back many years later. So I went to high school in Canada between 2006 to 2010. I was specifically taught in grade 9 science class, this is when I was 14 years old, that there's one bone in the body that is gender specific. Do you know which bone that is? That is your pelvis. Okay? The female, they have a massive pelvis, and it's very obvious. This is to provide the nutrients for the baby, so the fetus can continue to grow in the woman's womb during the woman's 38-week pregnancy. Okay? It doesn't matter what you say. There's only one way for humans to reproduce, and there's only one way for humans to continue as a civilization. Listen, I have nothing against the LGBTQ community. I just don't understand why they keep wanting to push this curriculum into our schools, and they want to shove this agenda down everybody's throat. It's unbelievable. I think we've gotten to this stage because of conservative cowardice, because of weak man. I can bet you 100% this guy, he voted for Justin Trudeau. So listen, if I follow the path of Justin Trudeau, if I painted my face black, if I walked out on the street and saying I'm a black person, you know what that's called? That's called blackface, okay? So if I put on a wig and a pink sweater and I walked out, I said I'm a woman. Does that mean I'm a woman? That's called woman face. It's taking on an identity that's not myself. And once again, look, if any man out there, if you want to cut your balls off, okay, and if you want to identify as a woman, that's perfectly fine with me. But if you want to enter female locker rooms, if you want to enter female showers, that's 100% a different story. You know what's really interesting? That the modern day liberals, they say that there's no difference between man and woman. So how come I don't see a single biological woman trying to enter men's sport? I don't see a single biological woman trying to enter the men's locker room or the men's bathroom. I've had many immigrants come up to me, a lot of Muslim people, So one of the takeout places I go to regularly, I order the poutine there, and sometimes I will get the chicken wings. And this guy is from the Middle East, and he was telling me he's really concerned. The fact that, his daughter, she's probably, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 years old. He's really worried that one day some dude is going to walk into her change room and expose his penis to her. He's really concerned about where Canada is going under Justin Trudeau. He was telling me that he's really concerned about this radical LGBTQ agenda. That one day a school counselor might come up to his daughter and convince her to be put on puberty blockers. And I've had many Chinese immigrants, many Chinese people that want to move to Canada and has asked me about this issue, and the fact that they're really concerned about why Canada is pushing this so much. This is making international headlines, because nowadays the entire world is connected, and they see this weird shit on social media, on the Chinese TikTok, and a lot of them are concerned. I've had Indian people telling me, they say that why is Canada pushing this transgender movement so bad? They're really concerned that Canada is falling apart under the leadership of Justin Trudeau. Once again, I have nothing against the community, okay? But there are certain limits. So you don't think it's okay for a 10-year-old to get a tattoo, right? That's a decision he or she, they, whatever you want to call it, might regret for the rest of their lives. So why do you think it's okay for a 10-year-old to put on puberty blockers? Because once you're put on puberty blockers, you will be infertile for life. Okay, it is an irreversible decision. And the fact that they want so many of this done to children is unbelievable. And this guy, Brock, he supported that. He said that in the United States, he's put out some bullshit numbers, says at least 200 children would have committed suicide if they weren't put on puberty blockers. Listen, the reason why the suicide rate is so high amongst this community, don't you think that there's already something wrong to begin with these people? Once again, and I'll bring back this point, okay, transgenderism is the direct result of the fall of the nuclear family, okay? Feminism give birth to 2SLGBTQAI+, how many ever letters you want to add. Ladies, you've all been lied to, okay? I am speaking up as a man, and I've said this many times before. I'm a 31-year-old virgin, never been on a date. And it doesn't matter how much a woman hates me, it doesn't matter how much a woman reject me, I still have respect for women. This is a movement to cancel women, because soon you won't have your own sports leagues, you won't have your own dormitories, you won't have your safe spaces. You won't have women's bathrooms. You won't have women's locker rooms. And you can see it all throughout the post-secondary institutions. So many bathrooms at my school is becoming all gender neutral, all in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is 100% a socialist, communist, Marxist movement. If you want to see this turn around, you have to speak up for yourselves, because this country, it's falling apart. And I'm sorry, as a man, if I say any more, I'm going to be labeled as a transphobe and a misogynist, and I'm going to get canceled on every platform. The only people who can change this, it's you.